Vanished are the veils of light and shade, lifted the vapors of sorrow. Sailed away the dawn of fleeting joy, gone the mirage of the senses. Love, hate, health, disease, life and death departed these false shadows on the screen of duality. Waves of laughter, scillas of sarcasm, whirlpools of melancholy, melting in the vast sea of bliss. Bestilled is the storm of Maya by the magic wand of intuition deep. The universe, a forgotten dream, lurks subconsciously. Ready to invade my newly wakened memory divine. I exist without the cosmic shadow, but it could not live bereft of me. As the sea exists without the waves, but they breathe not without the sea. Dreams, wakings, states of deep, Turiya sleep. Present, past, future, no more for me, but the ever-present, all-flowing I everywhere. Consciously enjoyable, beyond the imagination of all expectancy. Is this my Samadhi state? Smoldering joy, off-puffed by unceasing meditation, which blinded my tearful eyes, burst into eternal flames of bliss, and consumed my tears, my peace, my frame, my all. Thou art I am thou. Knowing, knower, known as one. One tranquil, unbroken thrill of eternal, living, ever new peace. Not an unconscious state or mental chloroform without willful return. Samadhi but extends my realm of consciousness beyond the limits of my mortal frame. To the boundaries of eternity, where I, the cosmic sea, watch the little ego floating in me. Not a sparrow, nor a grain of sand falls without my sight. All space floats like an iceberg in my mental sea. I am the colossal container of all things made. By deeper, longer, continuous, thirsty, guru-given meditation. This celestial samadhi is attained. From joy we come, for joy we live, in the sacred joy we melt.
Like many of the poems I cover on this channel, Paramahansa Yogananda's Samadhi is hard to explain and interpret because I've yet to fully achieve this blissful state. It's something beyond words that needs to be experienced personally, but I think there is so much we can learn spiritually by reading and exploring this poem. Now, for those of you who aren't yet familiar with the term or concept Samadhi, it comes from Hinduism and Buddhism, and is often described as a state of intense concentration achieved through meditation. Could be reflection, could be awareness, but it's mostly meditation. In Buddhism, it is the last of the 8 practices of the Eightfold Path that a practitioner must work on before achieving nirvana. Nirvana, of course, is the peaceful release from all the suffering and the cycle of repeated birth, mundane existence, and death. In Hindu yoga, this is regarded as the final stage, or the stage at which union with the divine is reached, either before death or, in the case of many, at death. This union comes from reaching spiritual awakening, with the self, the mind, and the object of meditation merging all together into one. If you have been following the channel for some time, you'll notice a lot of the same similarities between Samadhi and the Sufi theme of reuniting with the beloved, or God. Indeed, there are a lot of similarities in general between Sufism and Buddhism. There's a lot of common ground there. But I won't spend too much time going over the different definitions or concepts of Samadhi, since this all requires the work of the mind. Instead, I'd like to dive deeper into Yogananda's poem to see if there are any nuggets of wisdom that can guide us toward this state, that can help us feel this in our soul. This poem is more than just an expression of awakening. If we read it carefully, it can actually be an instruction on how to achieve awakening. So let's dive into some of these lines and see what wisdom we can gather. Yogananda starts the poem with some beautiful imagery of the illusion of duality. In truth, there is no light or shade, no sorrow or joy. What we perceive with our mind and senses is simply a veil covering reality. There is no love or hate, no health or disease, not even life or death. These are all just shadows projecting onto a screen. It's a bit like the book and movie The Wizard of Oz, if you guys have seen it. Dorothy and her friends are traveling on this adventure seeking the help of the great and powerful wizard. They finally meet him and become awestruck by his appearance. But when the curtain that is showing his image is actually removed by Dorothy's dog, they see that the wizard is actually just an ordinary old man and nothing more. It was all just a show, just smoke and mirrors. And similarly, we go through life thinking that all of these things, life and death, happiness and sorrow, and health and disease, are real, when in reality, they are just an illusion. The real essence of our being is what is behind the curtain, the vast sea of bliss. When we can truly achieve the state of Samadhi, all laughter, sarcasm, and sorrow melt into this vast sea. But in the meantime, we hold on to this image as being the truth. And so we find ourselves in an endless cycle of joy, sorrow, suffering, and then joy. One minute we are happy, the other sad. Another minute we are hopeful, and then full of despair. It just never ends because we keep associating ourselves with our noisy minds instead of the pure and blissful soul behind the curtain. But if we can keep on the spiritual path and work on purifying ourselves, beginning with purifying our thoughts, we can slowly start to calm this storm called Maya. Now, of course, many of you know that Maya in Buddhism refers to the deceptive nature of the ego or the false self in its perception of the world of appearances and forms. Maya is really just a mirage. It is a cunning and convincing illusion that we have all fallen for from time to time. Some of us are still falling for it. But in the stillness of mindful awareness and deep meditation, we learn that Maya is not real. Who we are transcends Maya, and even the concept of reality. For anything conceived by the mind is only a shadow, not the object casting the shadow. I agree, it's a bit confusing to understand because there's so many different concepts here. But that's why I stress the importance of not only reading about Samadhi, but more importantly, to actually try to experience it, to actually see what it feels like. As we progress along this journey, we will get glimpses of our divine memory, a memory that existed before we were even born. And this memory can refer to the time that we were all a part of the One, before we entered this human body and developed a sense of separation and individuality. Before this human life, We were simply energy, the soul, the universe. However you want to describe it, whatever word you wish to choose, it all refers to the same oneness. But as we came into this world in this form, we momentarily left that oneness and began to struggle finding our way back home, finding our way to Source. We find temporary comfort and joy in this new world, along with a lot of pain and suffering, no doubt, but there is still a deep desire to return to our natural state. Luckily, we all have this memory embedded in our soul, guiding us back toward the One. As Rumi said in the opening of his masterpiece, the Masnavi, Har kase ko dur mand az asl khish, baz joyed rozgar o wasl khish. Or every soul that is separated from their source searches for those days of union, of course. And so we wish to be united. We wish to achieve Samadhi. And the more we venture on this path, the more we will be tempted by Maya, or the fleeting universe who is trying to, in the words of Yogananda, invade our divine memory. Fortunately, we exist without this shadow, but the shadow cannot exist without us. That's because we are the light inside the lamp, casting the shadow. The lamp, or the body that is containing the light, the body of self, can take on different forms and appearances, but the light, or our soul, never changes. We are the entire ocean or sea, not the fleeting waves of thought. Thoughts need us to carry them forward, but we do not need thoughts to carry us forward. We are beyond thought. We are simply the ever-present, all-flowing I everywhere. And this state, as Yogananda says, is beyond all imagination and expectation. I cannot even begin to scratch the surface of it, but hopefully you and I can one day experience it. Now, there's a lot more we can cover from this beautiful poem. And indeed, it is a bit of a longer poem, but I decided to just take this snapshot. But I'll finish it off here with one of my favorite lines that captures, I think, really the essence of the poem. From joy we come, for joy we live, in the sacred joy we melt. If you had to just pick one part of this entire poem to explain what it is that Yogananda is talking about, I believe it's these three simple but powerful lines. We all come from the same source. We all live to find this source, and we shall all melt or reunite with Source. However you describe or resonate with it is up to you, but it is all pointing to the same light. As I mentioned, the lamps may change, but the light inside the lamp never changes. So go towards the light. Practice meditation. Be silent and still. And don't give up if things aren't coming to you in the way or the time that you want. This is probably the hardest thing you'll ever have to do, but this is also the most essential thing you'll ever have to do. For once you truly achieve Samadhi, you will have achieved everything. Once you get a taste of this, you will have tasted everything. And once you reunite with your beloved, all else means nothing, and you will have finally escaped the cycle that we have all found ourselves lost in. So I hope you enjoy this beautiful and incredibly rich poem, and that you use it as a treasured guide and guru on your path. You are so much more than you even know. And I hope that you will use these videos as a part of your daily spiritual practice. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Over time, it will all be so effortless and natural that you don't even have to try anymore. And what a wonderful feeling that is. But for now, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to melting with you in the ever-present and peaceful one.